you can also add row wise. So like now you can add the second row. So you can add all the numbers in second row, you can add them together. So by having equals sum A2 plus F2. So press enter. Okay, is this correct? Oh, no. So we supposed instead of using this, so it's supposed to be colon. So that is A2 to F2. Okay. So you can
Please, sir. Sorry, sir.
yeah.
Please, can you start over from where the meeting ended, please?
Okay. So we just started. Now you catch it you know how we added a column.
Yes, I know.
Okay, now for the row, now we want to add it using row. Now to do that, so you start with a equal sign. So sum into bracket A2. You know, 1 belongs to A2. So that is A2. So colon F2. Okay. So press close the bracket, then press enter. So that is what. So that is adding it row wise. So if I want to add others in a row, what you just need to do is to drag it. So you get your answer. So for this one, okay, we want to get the sum of each column. So what you need to do, okay, I will drag this. Can you see that? So now, this one will be, so you have a total here. So total, let's centralize all. So just highlight it and centralize all. You go to home and click on center to centralize all. Okay, then our total, you can bold it so that to differentiate it from other values. So this is our total. Then here now, so I want to put a total. So as I have total at the top of this values, then I want to have total in front of these values. Now, to do that, I have to insert another column. So I will need to insert column before the first column. So by you right click the first any cell on the first column. So right click it, then you go to insert. So you have different options here. So you pick insert column left, because we want to insert column before the first column. So click on it. Can you see that? So, but if you want to insert column after the first column, our first column, so what you need to do is to insert to the right. So insert to the right. Can you see that? So, but since we don't need this, just delete it. Now, so I will need to put total here so that this one will represent the column, total for the column. Okay, so while this one is for the row, so while this one is for the column. Okay, now, so that is our first function, which is sum. Okay, then you can also do average. Then another thing before we move to average, so this sum you can use a comma inside that sum function instead of using colon. column is to add from one point to another. Then you can use a comma to add some certain numbers. Like now, I want to add just only 3 numbers in our rows. So you can have it like this, equals to sum into bracket. So now it is not the column is not A now. So our column starts from B now. So that means it's going to be what? B2, because we have inserted a new column before B. So the new column will be A will represent the new column. So and the B will be the original A column. So B2, comma C2, comma D2. Okay, so you can have it like this. So then close the bracket, press enter. So if you just want to add as part of the list, we have a list of 5 or 6 numbers. So you just want to extract some numbers from that list and add them. So you will use comma for that. Although you can also use a colon, maybe from B2 to a B3. So you can use colon for that. But the reason we normally use a column is that if you have a lot of values, like now you want to add 200 numbers, so you cannot use a comma to separate your numbers. So that it will be too cumbersome. So, but you can just use column. What you just need to do is to specify the initial values and the final values. So that is for column. But if you just want to add maybe like 3 or 4 numbers, so you can use comma to separate your numbers. So, but if there are more than maybe 10, so in order not to waste much of our time, so what you just need to do is to use column to specify the initial value and the final value. So it will add all of the numbers in that list. It will add them together. So that is how to use sum. So either you use a colon or you use a comma. So when you have little numbers to add, you use comma. But if you have a larger number to add, you use colon. So I hope you are getting that. Now, so that is that about sum. So then let's move.
Not very well. Anyway.
Okay, you have a question.
Okay. Yeah, I said not very well because I'm using phone to view the file. It's a video. Please, you can continue. I think because
what is not clear
I'm
there?
new, so the terminology.
At
like this column H, how we arrive the bolded answers. The formula
yes.
we use to calculate.
I just use bold to separate our total from other values so that
I know how we arrive the formula we use to arrive.
Okay. So this is the formula. We have done our basic operations using addition, plus, you know how to use that, plus, subtraction,
yes,
multiplication.
Yes,
you know how to use that. You know how to use multiplication. Okay, now, so apart from our basic operations, so we have some basic functions. So that is what we are doing now, basic functions. So we have advanced functions. So when we reach data cleaning, so we are going to make use of advanced functions. But what we are doing now is basic functions. And the first one is sum. So if you want to add a list of numbers, okay, you can use ordinary addition plus to add a set of numbers. But if you have a lot of numbers to add, so using addition may be will be too difficult to use. So because if you have like 100 numbers now, so you cannot say you want to add them one by one. So using addition by saying A1 plus A2 to A100. So that is why we have a function. So function, what you just need to do is to specify the initial value in that list and the final value in that list. So, and for this one, our initial value is B2. Okay, so I want to add all these values using rows. Okay, so and the first value is what? B2, and the final one is what? Final one is G2. Okay, so you can add
Yes, sir.
row wise or you add column wise. So that is what I was explaining before. So we have done using column. So you can add a particular column. You can add all the numbers in a particular column. So by specifying the first value in that column and the last value in that column. So that is why we have equals sum B2 column what? B25. So for the column, so you are going to specify only one alphabet, but the number will be different. Okay, so for the column, so if you want to add all the numbers in a column, so for example, the first column is B. So you have B, then the first, you just need to add, you add the first number, the label, which is 2. So that B. Then you use the same B because you want to add all the numbers in that particular column. So your B, your initial value will be B, and the final value will be B. So for initial value, so you have to specify the number that you will use, the number for the first value, which is B2. Can you see that? So when you click on if you click on any cell, it's going to show the reference of that cell. It will show it at address bar. Okay, when you click on this, can you see B3? So you want to add 1, 2, 3, 1, 3, and 1.5. So the first one is 1, which is what? B2. Column B, row 2. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So to what? To column G, what? Row 2. So when you click on this, can you equals sign sum into bracket B2 to this column means to G2. So it will add all the numbers from B2 to G2. So that is that about row. Then column 2. So you have equals sum into bracket B2 to what? B25. So that is that about sum. So the next one is average. Average. So okay. So to use average, so we start with equal sign, average into bracket. Okay. So the initial value for the column, so which is what? B2 to B25. Okay, so it will capture all the range. So okay, press enter. So that is 300 divided by 24. Okay, to get 12.5. So to do it for this one, you don't need to write the formula again. So we just need to drag it. Okay, so going to do it automatically. So that is average column wise. So if you want to do average for the row, you have average here. So just enter equal sign average into bracket. That will be what? B2 to what? To G2. Okay. So close the bracket, press enter. So that is average. But for this one, you can format this value. Okay. So maybe you can reduce it to maybe 2 decimal places or 3 decimal places. So you can do that here. Okay, I think, okay. So you can do that here. So reducing it, can you see that? So if you want to increase, so you click this one. So let's use just 3. Okay, so then drag it. So that is average for all other rows. Okay, so you can use another, you can use maybe a color to differentiate this one. So I'll use another, let's use another color instead of red. Okay, so then bold it. So that is average. So then this one, bold. Okay, so that is average. Okay, so now, then apart from that, after average, then you can also find maximum value in that column. So using max equals to max into bracket B2, hold on, what? B25. So it will look for a maximum value in that range. Okay, press enter. So that is 24. So drag it. Okay, so that is maximum values in a column. So for the row, so equals to max into bracket B2 to G2. Okay, press enter. So the maximum value in this row is 3. Okay, from B to G. Okay, so drag it. Okay, so that is what maximum. So all these, they are what are basic functions. Okay, so now, so this is maximum. Okay, so all these are basic functions. So I will give you a note on this. So you also practice it at your leisure time. So now what we need in Microsoft Excel is how to use it to clean our data. So how to use it to clean our data. So and we have some functions that we normally use for that. So let's open this now. Okay. No, so I will give you this note. I will follow it. Data visualization. Okay. Now, here now, Microsoft Excel is versatile and essential tool for data analysts, enabling efficient data organization, manipulation, and analysis. So below are key features, functions, and best practices tailored for data analysts. So what we want to use Microsoft Excel for is for analysis. Okay. So, and these are 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So, okay, we can count. Okay, let's count these 6. So all these 6. So those are the things that we are going to do in Microsoft Excel. So we start with what? Data organization and what? And cleaning. Data organization and what? And cleaning. So we start with this one. Now, I have a note for that on its own. Okay. Data cleaning in Microsoft Excel. Okay. So data cleaning in Microsoft Excel. Okay. So if you have your data set, because as a data analyst, the tools that we normally use is what? Is a data. Data scientists use data. So machine learning engineers, they use data. So if you have a problem with your data, so you have problem with your result. So you have to make sure that your data is clean. Even most of our time, we normally use it on what? On data cleaning. So averagely, we normally use 70% of our data of our time on what? On cleaning the data. So you have to make sure that your data is clean before you use it for analysis. So all these are the things that you need to look into if you want to clean your data. Okay. First thing is to check your data if there's no any duplicates in your data. Okay. So duplicate means if you have duplicate rows, not that you have duplicate cells. You know, you can have a data set that contain a gender. You know, it is possible to have repeated cells that we have male, or repeated cells that we have females. So, but what we consider as duplicate is when you have duplicate rows, that you have two rows that have the same values. So that is duplicate. So you need to do away with duplicates if you want to use that data set. Then the next thing is handling missing data. So you must make sure that you don't have missing data. Missing data means when you have empty cell in your data set. So that is what? That is missing data. So it may be possible that maybe the data entry personnel that is entering data, so mistakenly omitted one particular cell. So you have to find a way to fill that cell, that empty cell. So that is handling what missing data. Next one is text to columns. Text to columns. So we use text to columns to split a column into 2 or 3 columns in our data set. For example, if you have a cell, you have a column that contains a full name, and in your analysis, you want to do analysis for surname, you know, that column contains only full name, and the full name has what? Surname and other names. So there's no way you are going to analyze that that surname in that column. So what you just need to do is to split that full name into 2. So have surname in one column and other name in another column, so that you'll be able to analyze that surname separately. So that is what we use text to column for. Or you have an address. You have an address in your data set, and that address contains country, state, city. So, and you want to analyze countries individually. So, if you there's no way you can do that if we have countries, state, city in one column. So you have to find a way to separate the address column into different columns. So that is what we use text to columns for. So data validation is used to validate your cell. So to specify a kind of values that your cell we accept. Okay. If you can specify your cell to accept only numbers, okay, or to accept only alphabets. Apart from that, you can also validate your cell to accept a range of values. So after you have validated it to accept numbers, so you can also validate it to accept a range, maybe between 0 and 100. So maybe between 0 and 10. For example, if you are preparing data sets for resource computation, you know, we cannot have score more than 100. So between 0 and, that is what we can have, between 0 and 100. So if the user wants to enter any value that is more than 100, maybe 1 or 2, so it won't accept it. So that is data validation. So to restrict data entry to specific values. Okay. Then we have our conditional formatting. So conditional formatting, we have maybe you want to format a particular values to separate it from other one, like the one we did in our basic operation, like all this one. So all these are formatting, but we can use condition to format our values, so that okay, any values that is beyond 100 should be given a particular color, so that you know that okay, all these one, they are more than 100. So it will give you ability to identify a particular values, so that you will know that okay, these values they are more than 100. Okay, all these are negative values. So that is what conditional formatting will do for you. Okay. Then we have sorting and filtering. So sorting is to sort your values either in ascending or descending order. So then filtering is to filter some values in your data set. So okay, maybe you want to filter some values that is lesser than 100. So you can also use filtering to filter empty cells, okay, missing values. So you can use filter for that. So when we reach there, so we use filtering to filter empty cells. That okay, we want to know our empty cells in this particular column, so that we can fill them. So that is how to handle missing values. So you can use filtering to handle your missing values. Then we have our trim, clean, substitute. So we use this one for text values. So if you have some extra spaces in your data, in your values, in your data set, so you can trim them, you can clean them. So remove non-printable characters from your values, from your data. Then another one is pivot tables. So these pivot tables we use it for to summarize your data, for summarization and organization of your data. So that is what we use pivot tables for. So then if I want to do visualization in your in Microsoft Excel, so you are going to use pivot tables, because you cannot use pivot chart without pivot tables. So we use pivot table to get your table. Then you now use pivot chart to represent that table. So the result of what you got from the table, that is what you are going to visualize. So when we read there, so you know much about the pivot table. Then find and replace. So we use our find and replace to clean our data. Okay, maybe you have some unnecessary values in your data set, so you can replace it with another values. For example, if you have typos in your in your data set, so you can use find and replace to clean it. Then error checking. So all these are the things that we are going to look into in data cleaning. Okay, so I think we need to stop here for today. So next class, so we start data cleaning in proper. So if we have any question, so let's try to ask before we end the class for today. Thank you. Do you have any question? So if there is no any question, so we stop here for today. So next class, so we start from removing duplicates in our data set. So then
Hello,
move
sir.
on. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is John, sir.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you, sir. I just to commend your efforts. It's been a very thorough class, and it's commendable. Since we are just beginners, some of the terminology are still very strange to us. So I would like to request, as a way of preparing ahead of time, like these slides, if you can have the soft copy so that we can go through it, then I'm using phone. I don't know, maybe that's why, maybe that's why some of the things are not really visible. I'm using phone.
Okay. The next class,
so if we have this,
try to get a system so that you can feel it better. Then I will also provide this slides, this material, because we are going to follow these materials for our class.